Now I just want to replace the content here. I'm just going to go to our page. Let's go ahead and here's the carousel, right? Here's the article that holds the carousel. So I'm just going to collapse that to just make it a little bit easier. Actually, we'll just collapse this whole row, right? So now I have that row collapse, and now we have just these. So it's easier if we use these little collapses. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to back this one up, and I'm just going to type in images, and then I'm going to grab the C13 one. That looks good, and then I'm just going to replace this with 2D animation. I'm just highlighting different things that I teach, I guess. And then I'm going to type in some different content here. So we'll just do traditional, there it is, hand-drawn animation using modern technology and techniques, right? That looks good. And then for my button, I'm just going to have it actually be the class name. So we'll say VCP 136 Multimedia Production 1. Okay. So now if I save that, and then obviously I would have a link here, but I don't have another page that this is specifically going to. But I'll save that. We'll go here, and then if I Control R, you will now see that it now has that picture. It has my content here, and then it has this. So I'm just going to do that to the rest of these, but I'm going to pause the video, and then you can see what the results are. So basically, you can see I linked a different image for each one of these. These are just AI images that I had generated, but I wrote the content inside, and then they each have a button that will go to a page. Currently, it doesn't go anywhere, but they would theoretically, right? So if this was like kind of a typical site, these would be like the things you're trying to highlight. That's like your most current offerings, whether it be a product or a service or whatever, whatever is the most pertinent. After that, what I'd want to do is just kind of do the same thing here. So I would just go to my page, theoretically. Here we go. I would scroll down. So we would say that this section is now good. So I'm going to go to this row and just collapse that. And let me see, what's this? Okay, so then the next row is this stuff here. So I am just going to replace the iframe because currently it's a Rickroll thing. I'm just going to put my demo reel in there. And I'm just going to replace this content with just, different stuff here. So demo reel. And I'm just going to replace this, and then you can kind of see what it looks like. I'm just going to pause it again. But you can replace this with whatever content you want. So you would just do like you did before, where you're going to go to YouTube, you go to share, find a video, go to share, and then one of the options will be embed, and then you just copy that and paste it over top of this. And the same thing with Google Maps. Okay. So I'm just going to replace this content, and then I'll show you what that looks like afterwards. All right. So I've just replaced that content with some different actual text, as well as updated some of the stuff. I left the Google Maps, actually. The last thing to format would be our icons here. So if I save this and I go to the site here, you can see how this is a little bit different now. I mean, it's kind of similar, but I have these icons. But notice when I hover over them, they're not actually links. So that would be something. I'm not going to do that right now, but that's something you would want to do. So in front of this, it should be an href. Actually, let's just go ahead and put this in like this, and then you would just wrap it like so. I don't know why I did a div there, but like that, right? So that way. Oh, hang on. There we go. That's why I did the div. Like that, right? So href, and then I would just do to this, and then that. And now when I would go into here and we refresh it, you'll see that now it'll act like it's a link, okay? So that's something really that should be done on all of these. So I'm just going to copy this and paste, and paste, and paste. And then it automatically did this. I'm going to middle mouse button, just drag that. Click and drag over this. Middle mouse button, click and drag. Click over this. You could also just copy it. You can cut Control X and Control V, or Command X, Command V. Save that. And then you'll see that now those are all links as well. Okay? So that looks much more improved. All right. So we've now got all of the content in there. Feel free to make this, please make it as interesting and fun as possible. I will include my images probably on this slide, so that way you can see. That way, if you want to utilize them, you can. But hopefully that makes sense, and so you can see all of this stuff. All right. So after this, what we're going to be doing is formatting it. So because everything's blue, not really necessarily on the colors that we want. So we'll be doing that